Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Creepy Quills and this is Skeleton Steve, and today we're going to be doing my most disappointing and my favorite books from 2019. So for my most disappointing books of 2019, there's only three. I just held up two fingers. That's how tired I am right now. So for my most disappointing books of 2019, there's only three, which isn't too bad considering I read over 50 books in 2019. One of them almost didn't make the list. The other one was semi-medium. And then the last one was literally so bad. I could not finish it. And I had Steve try it, and when I came back into the room from getting some tea, he was swearing, throwing his arms all about, and yeah, I'm telling them. And then he ran out of the room, and I didn't see him for 3 days, so I don't know what he did, and he won't tell me. So for my first disappointing book, it was David Morrell's Creepers, and this is the one that almost didn't make the list. This was about a professor who, him and some of his students, they actually go out and they explore these in private. It's like a secret club. They call themselves Creepers. We may know them as urban explorers. They go to these places that are abandoned. They don't damage anything. They're just there to explore and take into their findings and stuff. And then there's this reporter who is suffering from PTSD from the war, which is handled very well. He's basically going in and sort of going to do a story on them. And there's more to the story, but obviously I don't want to give anything away. But this one disappointed me because I read the inside flap, and I guess I didn't read far enough in. Have you ever gone into a book expecting one thing and then you get another? I was expecting, the Creepers to be going into this old hotel and either a ghost or something supernatural or a monster happens. I was basically expecting horror, but this was actually more of a thriller suspense. You know how there's like man versus man, man versus nature. I learned this in high school. There's like 7 of them. Man versus self. This was man versus man. And I was expecting man versus like supernatural or monster. So it left me wanting because I've never read a book like that, and I was expecting that. But this was still good. So I'm not knocking this book on that. This was more of a disappointing because I was expecting this, but got this. But it was well written. The PTSD from that one character was handled well. It had some twists and turns, some shocking moments and stuff. So again, not a bad book, but did disappoint. Okay, so the next on my list is The Fall by Bethany Griffin, and I got this from the library, so I don't have a physical copy, but here's a picture of it. And I tried reading this in March of 2019. I was really excited about it because it's a story, a YA book, kind of loosely based on the fall of the House of Usher. And the fall of the House of Usher is fantastic. So I was like, okay, a YA version of that. Basically, she's a girl, I think she was 16 if I remember right. She has a mom, dad, and she lives with her brother. And they're ushers, and they're kind of cursed. They cannot leave their house. The brother does end up leaving, and there's this whole the house is alive thing going on throughout, which was written pretty well. Like, that was well done. It wasn't badly written. What killed it for me was the romance. I just couldn't. Like I said, she's a young girl who's basically never left the house because she can't. And they employ doctors to kind of keep an eye on the father, wants to keep an eye on the health of the family because of what's their curse or whatever. And a new doctor comes in who's young and of course good looking, and you could just see romance is about to happen. But it's the way it was introduced just wasn't my taste. If I remember right, the older doctor and him are with her, and she's undressing in front of them. And he says something to, the younger doctor says something to the other doctor along the lines of, or in front of her while she's undressing, "You didn't tell me she'd be beautiful." And I just remember rolling my eyes. Because I'm 99.9% sure she could hear him, which that's one of my number one pet peeves is when you talk about somebody like they're not there, right there. And I think she blushed though, which you can't really, in a way blame her. She's never been outside. She's probably never, with guys, ugh. But anyways, I'm thinking in my head, well, maybe the other doctor didn't mention that because it's not important. He's doing his job. He's professional. Who cares if she's hot? That's not going to be on her. She's 5'4", 120 pounds and hot. I don't know. It was just kind of tacky of him. It didn't leave me a really good impression, especially since he did it right in front of her. And of course I think, anyways, that would be like me going to the dentist and like to the dentist being like, hey, you know, while you're laying there and your mouth is all, you can't say anything, and them just being like, hey, you didn't tell me she'd have a nice rack. Like, that's not romantic. I don't care how hot you are. Like, that's rude. But that's just me. Other people may like that sort of romance and think it's sweet. So if you do, like I said, it wasn't badly written. It was a pretty good story. I did give it another 50 pages about, but then I felt it putting me in a slump, and then he came back in the picture and I started rolling my eyes again, because again, I was just like, so I couldn't do it. And I'm not going to go in a slump for a book, and I wasn't even halfway done, I think, at that point with it. So when you're not wanting to pick the book back up, you just need to stop. All right, so, and then the award for the most disappointing book of 2019, the one that I just, luckily I didn't pay for it. I would have been really mad. It kind of has a long title. 12 hitchhikers, truckers, and travelers share their most terrifying stories from America's darkest highways by Amelia Harry. It's a horror anthology. And there it is. And I'm going to read to you so you will understand why why Steve probably was off drinking for 3 days. Let's see, where's one? The man regarded every day and regarded friendly, ... This is from the first story, Hitchhiking. That's one of the sentences. Lighthearted even, comma, so my uncle obtained in the car and they started riding in the direction of Lakeshore Drive. However, comma, as soon as they bought, B-O-U-G-H-T, there, comma, the man drove south on Lakeshore rather than on north, comma, towards Lincoln Park. So I'm already doing this while I'm reading, like, what am I reading? Is this readable? And then he had been arrested for the suspected rape and killing of over 20 young men and boys, period. The man on the television was once John Wayne Gay, period. Gay. And for all of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure they meant John Wayne Gacy, which furthers my thought process of this is not edited, because autocorrect would have changed Gacy to Gay, thinking it was wrong. And that's just so, oh. And he had removed the door, manage off the passenger side door to prevent the guys he picked up from escaping. That's not even a okay. And then this is the second story, the second from Bodies on the Highway. I didn't get that far in because, like, you could probably tell just from me reading it to you, I had to stop. Where is it? Amboy is a nearly deserted town almost as far below sea stage as Death Valley, comma, with a dormant volcano and lava discipline on one side and a salt flat on the other, period. It was also, comma, at the time, comma, a hotspot for a satanic team activity. And I don't really make sure that's wrong. It's just, as a horror reader, I've never really heard the phrase satanic team activity. It kind of makes it sound like, yay team, let's get our, you know, all our outfits, our coordinating outfits on in bright colors and sell cookies door to door. Like, that's satanic team activity. Woohoo! And yeah. And then where is it? I quit 100 feet or so away and the hair on the again of my neck is standing up. I quit 100 feet or so away and the hair on the again of my neck is standing up. That's literally what it's. Being a Marine, comma, I attain beneath the seat and pull out a 9mm pistol and chamber around. Something regarded very wrong, comma. It appeared to, T-O-O, best, as if it have been staged. Steve's begging me to stop actually right now. He still has his New Year's party hat on. Oh, yeah, I'll stop. But that's, don't do it. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to brag on a book, but that clearly was not edited. There's just no, if it was, then yeah. So yeah, those are my 3 most disappointing books. Again, with this one, still recommend it. This was mostly just me expecting one thing, got another. Fallen, you might like it. The romance just wasn't for me. But for the third one, don't do it. Don't. This is me being a reader who is a booktuber who is telling you, don't do it. Unless you like torture. Okay, now on to the best part of the video is my favorite books from 2019. Luckily, I had more good than bad, considering my personal life in 2019. It just wasn't a good year for me. So the first one is, I have the physical book, but it's up in my attic. But I'm still gonna show you a picture of it. I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. And I'm not going to go too much into detail about these books because I've already reviewed them. But this one is about a girl who's basically on the road to meet her boyfriend's parents. And she's thinking about ending things. But there's way more to it than that. This is more psychological suspense. But it's not a long book. And I think it was done just right. But I am definitely, it's a keeper. And then let's see, up next, Uzumaki by Joan G. Ito. And this one, like I said in previous, this is the full series. This is actually 3 books in one. It's a manga. But this is about a spiral, a shape, who is taking over a town. And the art is beautiful. I've read the first one. I'm into the second one. But like I said in a previous video, I'm not in a hurry to get through this because it's done. And I'm enjoying it. So I'm letting the ride be kind of slow. But I highly recommend this one. And then another one of my favorites, I got a physical copy of it, The Tent by Keelan Patrick Burke. I read this. This is about a husband and wife and their son go camping. And things don't go very well. I'll leave it at that. But it's obviously it's more of a little novella. It's very short, but it's impactful and it's memorable. And you're basically like, what the heck just happened? But in a good way. But if you're a fan of Lovecraft, I think you should pick this up and give it a try. Definitely give this author a try. He's one of those authors. He's a great writer. So read his stories. Most of them are pretty short, but you'll find something you'll love. And then let's see. Oh, I have a YA fantasy, Insanity. Isn't that a beautiful cover? Who wrote this again? Cameron Jace. I read a lot of Camerons this year or last year. Anyways, this is, if you love Alice in Wonderland, give this one a try. I have a whole long review on this book, so I'm not going to go through it again, but it's the one where I have a tea party. But I dedicated one video just to this book. It's a series, and I need to continue the series this year. But yeah, beautiful cover, but it's basically about a girl who is in an asylum for killing a bunch of people, supposedly. And this one goes without saying, Stephen King's It. I read it last year. Y'all know what it's about. It was great, except for that one scene. I just couldn't. I was another one of those people that could not do that one scene. I tried. I tried listening to it. I tried reading it. It was too uncomfortable. And those who've read the book know what scene I'm talking about toward the end. But other than that, this book was fantastic. It definitely lived up to the hype. I can see why it's a classic. So enjoy Pennywise. And then we have Kill River by Cameron Robeek. This is my second Cameron. If you love slasher, 80s horror, give this author a try. Great writer. A lot of fun. And the sequel was actually very good too, and I hope there's a third one. I really, really do. But the second one lived up. Usually sequels can be crap. He did a good job. But this one's basically, if you like summer camp, if you've ever been to summer camp, this will definitely give you that nostalgic feeling. Which is, I think, why I loved it so much, because I loved summer camp. But these kids basically go there, and then they want to leave for some reason. I won't tell you why. And then they run into a water park where they're not alone at the water park. It's an abandoned water park. And there's a serial killer there, basically. So good times. All right, and then last but definitely not least, for my favorite books of 2019 was Cameron Chaney's Autumn Crow. The last of the Camerons, and Cameron Robeek actually did the artwork for the cover. So this is an anthology around a town where every day is Halloween. So if you're a Halloween lover like I am, then you should definitely give this a try. And it was great writing, and it gave me that sort of classic feel. And I like how some of the stories like made me feel, they were very bittersweet, some of them, and some of them were very like more supernatural. So there's a little bit of everything. It definitely wasn't like hardcore gore or anything like that, but I think that's a little bit of what makes it more of a classic. It might be good for, you know, lower ages. Like if you like goosebumps or scary stories to tell in the dark, then definitely give this a try. I keep this on my, I'm either going to keep it on my shelf. I've been keeping it over there because it looks good over there because I love the cover so much. And this is definitely just if I'm in the mood, because to me, every day should be Halloween. But I definitely really enjoyed this, and I love the cover. All right, so that's it for my most disappointing and favorite books of 2019. Thanks for sticking around with me. I've met some great people in this community. The booktube community is really friendly and welcoming, and I've really been enjoying it. I have a great assistant. Steve's been sticking by me. He's looking forward to doing more videos, so hopefully my personal life is better in 2020 so I could do more videos. My next video is going to probably be a book haul because I've got some really great books recently, and I can't wait to show them. So yeah, I would actually film it tonight, but I'm really tired and I want to go on Sims Free Play and I need to feed my dragon. Yeah. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye.